Robert Kennedy Jr. is here. He is, among many other things, president of the Waterkeeper Alliance, the environmental organization, holding a comedy benefit called Keep It Clean at the Avalon in Hollywood tonight. What are some of the names here?
Ray Romero, Martin Short,
That would
Sarah
be Ray
Silverman.
Romano. Thank you.
That's what I meant.
Martin Long. Martin Long.
Martin Short, Sarah Silverman.
Goldberg.
Stop it.
All right.
These are just some of the comedians who will crack jokes and raise awareness. Do you want us to show up? Apparently we think we're funny. So they're there to show awareness, raise awareness, of course, for the current water crisis. And to say it's a crisis, I mean, is an understatement. It's ridiculous what's going on.
This is the biggest drought now, according to the USGS, in 1,200 years in California. But we're seeing these kind of weather anomalies all over the globe, and we're seeing impacts on water supplies all over the globe. There's millions of environmental refugees in Africa and Asia, and water wars in Latin America, Central America, and even here in the United States.
So the average American uses what, like 150 gallons of water a day, perhaps, compared to, let's say, a developing country, which is, what would it be, like 5 gallons?
It depends what country you're in, and it depends how much water they have, obviously. But we use a tremendous amount of water in this country. I think Californians are now using less. 80% of the water in this state goes to agriculture. There's more water used just to grow almonds in the state of
and alfalfa, right? Almonds
and
and alfalfa.
But just almonds alone, and all the human beings in the state, and the 39 million people in California, a single almond takes a gallon of water.
Wow.
So it's one of the issues that we're dealing with.
As you know, Robert, California is the breadbasket to the world. We feed the world. California's always been very proud of that. It's been very important. Are we talking about actually changing that concept?
Well, that's not something I would like to see. I think that farmers are important not only for our economy, for our food supply, for food security, but also, as Thomas Jefferson said, for our democracy. We need a lot of, we need farmers, and we need to keep them going. But the way that water is distributed, particularly in the western states, in particular California, is irrational. It's not. We should have rules that encourage and incentivize conservation, so that people aren't growing cotton and rice and alfalfa and almonds in the desert. But
what we're doing now is we're telling us
we're about the lawns.
We need to conserve, but we do the math on that. That's 20% of water usage in the state.
Right.
And if we cut out 25% of that, that's a 5% cut.
Right.
That's not that much.
As far as making an impact.
Right. And meanwhile, we have a growing fracking industry in the state that's using tens of millions of gallons of water a year to extract oil from the ground. And that water is permanent consumptive use. The water is completely destroyed forever, and there's no public benefit to that. There's benefit to a few billionaires who own those companies, but there's no public benefit, at least to the farmers. You're seeing a public benefit, but what we need to do is have a rational water system where we have rational pricing, so that the water goes to the highest
We have
use.
a rational car outside.
Yeah, tell us
Yes,
about
we do.
the
What is
car
that? What is
outside.
that?
Right, and I think we have a picture of it.
I think
we have
It's
a
a new
live shot.
hydrogen car, and for years people have been talking about the hydrogen highway here in California, and Terry Tamminen, who was the head of EPA, he was also a former waterkeeper, and he was the head of California EPA under Arnold Schwarzenegger, actually got the hydrogen highway started. So I think we have a dozen or more hydrogen gas stations in the state. This car takes about 3 minutes to fill up. It goes 300 miles on a tank, and the tank costs about the same as filling up a gas tank for a regular car. And so this is a potential future we're seeing.
And you hope this is where we're going, and people are thinking that way. When the gas prices come down, people stop thinking that
And by the way, the discharges from the tailpipe here is just water. There is no gas discharge. What comes out is water.
Not even backup?
Nope.
Oh.
Just water.
Wow.
Vaccinations. We're going to talk about it for a moment, because wherever you go now, that's the topic that comes up. You have taken a stand on vaccinations. I don't want to misquote it, because people do. Your position is?
I'm pro-vaccine. I want to see everybody vaccinated. I want us to have government policies that maximize and incentivize vaccine coverage. I had all 6 of my kids vaccinated.
You've been vaccinated?
Yeah, I've been, but more important, my children were all vaccinated. What I want to see is safe vaccines, and that means getting the mercury out of vaccines. We need to do that, and the only reason that we're not doing that really is because of corruption at CDC. We can do it. The vaccine companies, in fact, have asked CDC to allow them to do it, and they've done it for the pediatric vaccines in 2003, but the same year they put it in flu vaccines, which they're now giving to pregnant women.
You're talking about thimerosal,
Yeah.
right? And it's elaborate, the history of what happened, but basically the FDA didn't regulate it, is that correct? And the CDC used up what they had, the supply they had, and you're saying from a certain number of years to a certain number of years, the children who got vaccinated, there was a repercussion.
In 2003, they removed, and I'd love to talk about this because it's a really important issue on maybe, and I'd love to come back and do a whole segment on it, but I'll just say briefly that in 2003, at the recommendation of the government public health agencies, the vaccine industry removed thimerosal from the most pediatric vaccines, the ones we're giving to our kids. But the same year, CDC added the flu vaccine to the pediatric schedule, and it's loaded with thimerosal. So kids never really got a break from it. Today, a kid complying with the CDC recommendations today will get virtually the same amount of thimerosal exposure that they got in 2003. The difference is today they're also getting it in vitro in their pregnant.
Robert,
and it's 1,000 times more neurotoxic than lead, and it's just common sense that we should remove. You wouldn't inject lead into a pregnant woman. Why would you inject mercury into her or into a little baby?
What you said, you come back.
We'll come back.
And we'll
I would
explore it.
love to come
So
back
just
and
not
do
doing
this in
headlines.
detail. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Keep It Clean happening tonight at the Avalon in Hollywood. Showtime at 7:30. And please say hello to your wife, Cheryl Hines, whom we like more than you. How's that?
Everybody likes her more.
Okay.